Most people think millionaires are born different, smarter, luckier, more talented. But here's the truth nobody tells you: the only real difference is how they see the world. Their brain operates on a completely different operating system. And the scariest part, you have been running the wrong software your entire life. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact mental framework that separates those who build wealth from those who watch others do it. Millionaires think backwards. While most people ask, how do I make more money? Millionaires ask, what's killing my potential right now? This is called inversion. Instead of chasing success, they eliminate failure first. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Imagine two people working the same job, same salary, same background. Person spends their evenings wondering how to get rich. They watch videos, read articles, dream about business ideas. But nothing changes. Person B does something different. They write down every single thing that's draining their energy, time, and focus. Bad friendships, mindless scrolling, staying in their comfort zone. Then they cut these things out, one by one. 6 months later, person B has mental clarity. They have time. They start building something real because they remove the obstacles first. Here's the framework. Millionaires don't just add good habits. They ruthlessly delete bad ones. They understand that your life is like a glass of water. You can't pour fresh water in if the glass is already full of poison. You have to empty it first. Most people fail because they are trying to build a fortune on top of a broken foundation. They want to add discipline without removing distraction. They want focus without cutting out chaos. It doesn't work that way. Millionaires know this. That's why their first move is always subtraction, not addition. The second framework is simple but brutal. Millionaires have trained themselves to feel pleasure from waiting, not from getting. From waiting. Let me tell you a story that changed how I see this. There was a man named Daniel. He worked at a marketing agency making decent money. Every Friday, his coworkers would celebrate the weekend. Dinner out, drinks, new clothes. They called it treating themselves. Daniel joined them for a while. It felt good. But then he noticed something strange. Every Monday, those same people complained about money, about being stuck, about wanting more but never having enough. Daniel made a decision. He started saying no. No to the dinners. No to the new shoes. No to the instant relief. And here's what happened. At first, it hurt. Watching everyone enjoy themselves while he stayed home felt like punishment. But after a few weeks, something shifted. That pain turned into pride. He started feeling powerful because he could control his impulses. He wasn't a slave to his cravings anymore. Within a year, Daniel had saved enough to start a side project. Within 2 years, that project replaced his salary. Within 3, he quit his job. His coworkers, still celebrating Fridays, still broke on Mondays. Here's the truth. Your brain is wired for instant rewards. That's normal. That's human. But millionaires rewire that system. They teach their brain that waiting is the reward. Every time they say no to something small today, they are saying yes to something massive tomorrow. It's not about being cheap. It's about being intentional. It's about understanding that every dollar you spend on comfort now is a dollar you can't invest in freedom later. The delayed gratification muscle is like any other muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And once it's strong enough, it becomes automatic. The third framework is the most powerful. Millionaires take full ownership of everything, not just their wins. Everything, their losses, their mistakes, their circumstances, even things that aren't their fault. Let me give you a real example. Arnold Schwarzenegger grew up in a small village in Austria. No money, no connections, no advantages. He could have blamed his circumstances. He could have said, I'm just a poor kid from nowhere. But he didn't. Instead, he took ownership of his future. He decided that his background was not an excuse. It was a challenge. And challenges could be overcome with discipline and vision. When he moved to America, he could barely speak English. People laughed at his accent, told him he'd never make it in movies with a name like Schwarzenegger. He could have complained. He could have given up. But ownership meant accepting reality and changing it. So he worked on his accent. He built his brand. He turned his obstacles into advantages. Years later, he became one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Then a successful businessman. Then the governor of California. Not because he was lucky, because he refused to play the victim. Here's what most people miss: ownership is not about blame. It's about power. When you blame the economy, your boss, your parents, or your situation, you give away your power. You are saying, I can't change this. But when you take ownership, you are saying, I'm responsible for my results, no matter what. And that mindset changes everything. Millionaires know this deeply. They understand that the moment you stop blaming, you start building. The moment you stop making excuses, you start making progress. They live by a simple rule: if it's going to change, I have to change it. Nobody's coming to save them. And that realization is terrifying at first, but then it becomes liberating. Because once you accept that you are in control, you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for the right time. You just move. Now let me reveal the truth that ties all of this together. The mental framework of millionaires is not about tactics. It's not about strategies or hacks. It's about identity. They don't do things to become wealthy. They do things because they see themselves as people who are already wealthy in mindset. Here's what I mean: most people operate from lack. They think, when I have money, I'll feel successful. Millionaires think the opposite. They feel successful first. Then the money follows. They don't wait for external proof. They decide internally who they are, and then they act like that person every single day. This is the framework. This is the operating system. It's not what they do. It's who they believe they are. And belief shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. Results reinforce belief. It's a loop. And once you are inside that loop, everything changes. You can have all the knowledge in the world. You can know every business model, every investment strategy, every productivity hack. But if you don't shift your identity, none of it will stick. Because you'll keep sabotaging yourself. You'll keep falling back into old patterns. You'll keep thinking like someone who's struggling, even when you are trying to act like someone who's successful. Millionaires fixed this problem early. They decided who they were and they never looked back. So here's what you need to understand. The mental framework of millionaires is not a secret they are hiding from you. It's a system they built inside themselves. Inversion, delayed gratification, ownership, and most importantly, identity. You don't need permission to start thinking this way. You don't need money. You don't need connections. You just need to make a decision. Right now, today, that you are done running the old software. You are done thinking small. You are done blaming and waiting and hoping things will change on their own. Your mind is the only tool that matters. Everything else is just noise. Build the framework, protect it, live by it, and watch how your entire life reorganizes itself around the person you have decided to become. The only question left is, are you ready to install the upgrade?